All right, welcome back to the Ask Mama podcast, where I let the internet ask my mama questions. I'm Melody Angel.
I'm Mama Stephanie.
And I'm Lamar Duran.
And we're going to get right into 5 minutes of trash this week, y'all.
Oh, wow.
And 5 minutes of trash this week is, I know I say this all the time, but I only want to give this 5 minutes. What time is it? Let me really look at the clock.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. So Taylor Swift has been trending this week on TikTok and Instagram or whatever. She put out an album, and I don't really want to talk about that part of it. And there's like some song, and there's a quote from a song that people have trouble with. The thing is, I can't really talk about that because I don't care. I'm not a fan of her music. I've never been, and I'm not going to pretend to like have a dog in that fight. It is what it is. If you like her, you like her. If you don't, you don't. Mm-hmm. For me, her trending this week also reminded me of something else that's going on in relation to her. And what's going on is she's now dating Travis Kelce from the Red Skin, from the, I don't know, whatever the team is. He plays football. And the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right,
what am I
right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
What am I saying?
Right.
The champs. And and I usually like him. Like, I've never really had no issue with him, but I have an issue with him now. So he's now dating Taylor Swift. But before that, let me bring up my notes here. Let me see. Yeah. So he's now dating Taylor Swift, but he was dating Kayla Nicole, which is a sports reporter for the NFL and the NBA. And he was dating her, and she's black, by the way. Let me just say that. That's probably something you may want to remember about this story. So they break up, and then months later, like a whole bunch of months later, he starts dating Taylor Swift. And the Swifties, which is what her fans are called, they start attacking Kayla on social media with a flood of racist and derogatory comments nonstop. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift have been dating for months. So this is how long this has been going on for Kayla. And she recently put out a statement saying that she's had enough. She wants it to stop. She's never said anything or done anything to nobody, and leave her alone, requesting that they leave her alone. My question is this. So, majority of your fans are known to be racist because they're spewing out racist comments on the daily to this woman, Kayla. But you want me to believe that you're not racist. Also, if you're not racist, then why haven't you come out publicly condemning your fans for their racist remarks towards Kayla? And why, on top of that, has not Travis Kelce come to her defense with all of this? You know what I'm saying? So I want to know, do you believe that somebody can not be racist or not care about this kind of thing and really say that they're woke and they're not racist and they're above that and they're a feminist and they're this and they're that? Do you believe that that's possible with her actions?
I don't. I think she should have immediately said, "You all don't do that. That is not nice. Don't. This girl has nothing to do with he and I. I mean, stop it. For God's sakes, I don't want my fans to be looked at like that, because I'm not like that. So if you're representing me, don't represent me that way, because I'm not like that, and I don't appreciate you all doing that." And this girl has got it, this Kayla, because I looked into it, she's gotten it from both ends. Before this happened to her, it was black men that were sending her the most hateful rhetoric ever because she was dating a white guy. So she is not, it's not eased up for this poor girl.
But focusing on this particular subject, this is about Taylor Swift's actions. Kayla's done nothing wrong. This has nothing to do with that. This is only about Taylor Swift and her non-action. And I'm saying that, and this gets me to the real point of white people who say that they're not racist, but they allow it around them.
Yeah.
They allow it around them. That's the same thing.
As condoning.
Exactly.
That
condoning. Means that you're okay with it. If you're silent, that is violence.
Right.
That's violence toward black people. If you can sit there and watch a group of millions of people. We're not talking about a couple of fans.
Right.
We're talking about millions of little white girls.
That's terrible.
And white gay men coming at this black woman every day. And not to mention the fact that she also says that she's a feminist.
Wow.
So how could you allow your fans, when all you'd have to do was tweet out, stop.
Silence is complicit.
You know what I'm saying? And think about all the white people who stayed silent when all them black people were being lynched back in the day. Hung from trees and stuff. You didn't say nothing. You didn't do nothing. You just let it all just go by like it ain't my problem.
Because you benefited.
You are just as bad.
That's terrible.
And I'm, beyond the fact, and this is what I resent about the whole thing. When black people online point this out, because this is what was pointed out in this situation with Kayla. Oh, we're racist. We just hate, we're jealous. No, they were like, oh, we're jealous of Taylor. Of Taylor Swift. That's why we're saying this, and black people just don't like her because she's an icon and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, if she's your icon, that's fine. But get one thing straight. People like Michael Jackson was everybody's favorite. The diversity involved in his fan base was absolute. He went to every country in the world with every kind of color of person, and they would fall out and pass out and sing every word he sung. So don't even try. You're not in that realm. It's not ever going. I don't care how many record sales you break. There's a lot of white people in the world. That's what it proves. Because everybody that I know ain't never heard. Well, I couldn't. If a gun was to my head and they asked me to sing a Taylor Swift song, I couldn't do it.
Me neither.
Honestly, I can't do it. It's just not my cup of tea. That don't mean I wish this girl harm or I think she's a terrible person or this, that. But she's got some major flaws. And her silence is one of them. And I don't respect it.
That's not nice.
And it has nothing to do with her music.
No.
It reminds me of a prior episode when we talked about idolizing people, putting them on a pedestal and making them beyond reproach. And this is a clear example of that. First of all, you are this icon that people have deemed you to be, although you're just a person, right? That
to your fans,
to your fans. Like you said, at any given time. So what does that say about you? That you are just like them. And these people who are spewing hate towards this black girl, they were jealous and upset because he was with a black woman.
That is. That's it.
And then they try to insinuate that Taylor Swift stole him from her.
Lord.
And it's like, girl, they had been over. But you see what I'm saying? Like, because they're getting off on even the idea of a white girl stealing from a black woman. Like, she got her. And that's so sick. She was done with him. But how dare she be done with him?
Right.
And maybe that's why he's so silent. Because he could stop it too. He ain't said nothing in her defense either. And that's where he lost my respect. Because I did respect him. And I thought he was like a good dude. He's got his own podcast and with his brother and everything. And they're so sweet together. And I love their relationship. But now I'm looking at him totally different now. Because I didn't realize this was happening to Kayla. And I certainly... When I looked into it to see, I'm sure Kelsey said something, didn't he? Didn't he say something? He ain't say nothing. He ain't said nothing.
He's equally complicit.
And being in a relationship with both of those women shows me, especially that he hasn't said anything about the treatment of this other girl that he was in a relationship with. lets me know that both of those relationships were power moves, and that he really don't even like Taylor Swift like that.
He's salty.
And he's salty that she kicked him to the curb.
Okay, I got to stop because I'm getting heated, and we ain't even got to the real questions yet. But that's your 5 minutes of trash. If you wanna, look into it more, there's a million TikToks right now talking about this girl's new album, and maybe like 1 or 2 videos talking about what's going on with Kayla. So just shout out to Kayla. She is an exceptional black woman. She graduated from Pepperdine, and she's an awesome reporter and a hard worker, and shout out to her. Y'all need to go on somewhere. You're weak and pathetic. Leave her alone.
You ain't gonna break her. She's strong.
So anyway, let's get to the Ask Mama questions, shall we?
All right.
And if you want to ask Mama questions on next week's episode, because we have new episodes every Wednesday, be sure to follow us on Instagram or TikTok at Ask Mama Podcast. So the first question is, okay, this one is deep. How do I comfort my girlfriend who caught an STD after being SA'd?
My God in heaven. Well, patience, I would say, probably is the main thing that you would have to have in a situation like this. This poor woman has been through a lot. I'm sure you know that. So just be patient with her, kind to her, loving to her, and pray for her, and just be there. And I think that would be comforting to her. I'm going to pray for whoever this is. God knows who she is. And this is a horrific thing to have happened. And the fact that you're still with her and are concerned about comforting her tells me you must be a pretty good guy. So seems like she's blessed to have somebody like you. And I'm sure if with you feeling and asking a question like this, you have what it takes to sustain her in this time.
Lamar?
I want to piggyback off of what Mama was saying just about being patient and being there and supporting her. I think, too, it's also important that if she would like to go to therapy and be there with her and allow for her to get that outlet, that help that she might need. Because you may be able to take her so far, but, there's always a good thing, in therapy. There are good things in that. So I would definitely suggest that as well.
Yeah, with that, it's like a woman's worst nightmare. So patience builds that feeling of safety. I know that just talking to some of my, female friends that have gone through something very similar, it takes a long time for them to feel safe with a man alone again. And anything you can do, any little things of y'all being alone together, but her feeling secure and safe, that you're not going to try anything before she's ready, really wait until she initiates. I think that's key, because when she's ready, she needs to make that move for herself, for her own power and her own strength. So that's when you'll never guess in these situations. I feel like let her dictate, even a kiss, even a touching of the hands or anything like that. Just let her be, but be in her day, be in her life, and just let her initiate physical contact. And that will make her know that she's safe with you. Because I think a lot of times when stuff like this happens, from just talking with my girlfriends and stuff, it's just he tried something and I just wasn't ready for all that. And it's just like, man, can't you just give me some time? It's about understanding this is in her time, not when you think, oh, it's been a month.
Right.
It's been what it's been. And it's going to be what it's going to be. And it's going to take as long as it's going to take. And then you got to check yourself to understand, do I care about her enough to wait however long?
Right.
Because if you got a time limit, then you don't really care about her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you want her to feel safe and secure with you.
Absolutely.
Before you did anything. You wouldn't want to be with her and she's feeling scared and uncomfortable. If that's what you want, then you certainly ain't with the right person.
Right.
So this is a check for you too. Because you don't need to, it doesn't always need to be sexual to build a relationship. You need to have this part of your relationship too, which is the friend part. She needs a friend.
Bless her heart.
Yeah. And it's twofold. It's two gut punches. Not only was I SA'd, I got an STD.
Yes, she's dealing
horrible.
with a lot.
But
That's a lot.
I like the fact that he is so concerned about her comfort. What do I need to do? What can I do to help her? I think that is just so
as long
sweet.
as it lasts.
Yes.
I'm just saying, a lot of times people think it's some kind of quick fix.
No, it's
And
not
there
quick.
is no quick fix. Because another part of this is now you guys have to deal with safely being in relation together because she has an STD. Now you got to add like even more safety to what you do and everything else, and you got to be okay with that too.
Right.
So you don't get something depending on what it is. You know what I mean? So it's very difficult situation.
Prayers for both of them.
Yeah.
You'll be in our prayers, sweetheart.
No doubt. Lamar, what's the next one?
Okay. So the next question is, why do I feel guilty for exercising boundaries with people? Is that a character flaw?
No, I think that is a good thing. You should have boundaries. Because if you don't, I mean, you could literally get walked all over. So you have to, people treat you how you allow yourself to be treated. That is a cliche, but it is really the truth. You know, some people need to have boundaries. Or, I mean, then there's people who are just kind-hearted and they won't take advantage and do that anyway. But then there's the other kind of person that if there's no boundaries, there's no telling what they'll end up doing to you. So I think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a character flaw at all. I think it's character, having character, and knowing your worth and what you will allow someone to do to you. So I think it's good to have boundaries. No doubt about it.
I will say, never feel guilty about doing what is the best decision for you to do. People will try to manipulate you for standing your ground, make you feel bad, because wait a minute, so you mean to tell me you told me no? Some people just don't even, they can't handle it. They've never been told no or don't know how to handle being told no. Yeah, I don't think it's a character flaw for you to feel guilty about it, but try to work that out, because I do know that that's normal. We never know what people go through in their childhood. You know, you might have parents that might be manipulative or have been manipulative in raising you, or maybe you've had relationships of different kinds where people try to manipulate you, and so that makes you feel guilty for standing your ground and saying, no, I won't do those things. But when you put yourself ahead of other people's feelings, that's when you will truly start to live the life that's meant for you to live and be truly happy.
When people make you feel guilty, because that's what's really happening. Somebody is making you feel guilty. And when that happens, what you have to be willing to do is accept that that person isn't good. That's not a good person. Anybody that would make you feel guilty for having positive boundaries. We're not talking about just like made up boundaries that don't make no sense and aren't good, and these are healthy boundaries that you're talking about. And therefore, anybody that has a problem with healthy boundaries is not a good person. They don't want you to say, hey, that would be, so an example of a healthy boundary would be if you're with a guy, if I'm with a guy and I say, hey, don't call me at 1 a.m. talking about, can I come over? That's a boundary for me. This is not a booty call situation. That's not what's going on over here. I set that boundary. Right. So then if he calls at 1:30 in the morning talking about, can I come over? He has just crossed the boundary. So then when I tell him no and he gets upset, he's trying to make me feel bad for my boundary, my legitimate boundary. Guess what happens to that guy?
Block.
El boot.
Adios. Okay? Okay?
Ooh, yes.
Adios. So really, boundaries are, one of the most positive things that you can do for yourself, because it shows exactly who everybody is in your life. The people that respect your boundaries are people that belong in your life. The people that don't, they need to go. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
I agree 100%.
No way you should feel guilty, and no way is it a character flaw.
And just also remember that you have no control over what someone else's feels, what someone else's emotions are, any of that. It's only you who you have control over. And if it's a boundary, it's a boundary.
Right. And if they feel some kind of way, that's their feelings. It's not mine. You feel that because that's in your own mind.
And there's nothing you can do about it. That's too bad.
That's right.
Yeah.
Totally agree with that one.
All right. We're going to move on to the next question. Next question is, I found God 2 years ago and my life was forever changed. Recently, I've been going through some rough times, and honestly, I've been questioning his will for my life. Do these questions make me a sinner? I feel so ashamed.
Oh, you should not. What you're describing is very human. Thoughts and things that you have. The Bible says God knows my thoughts from afar. He already knows. And no, you're human, and God knows that. So just live your life. He already gave his life for us. So it's nothing you can do to make yourself worthy to be in God's good graces. He's just good and has grace. It's nothing you can do to earn it. He gave it already. So, no, just live your life and trust and believe what the gift God already gave us all, which is salvation.
Amen. A faith walk is just that, a faith walk. And it is full of peaks and valleys, highs and lows. God understands, and he definitely knows. I would say to you, first of all, we all know that sometimes, a lot of times, most times, it gets the roughest before you are on the horizon of a breakthrough. So stay your course. Be patient. Be kind with yourself. Give yourself grace. You are not a sinner, and you should not be ashamed. It's normal. And this is not going to be the last time that you are going to have questions. It's okay to have questions. Your relationship with God is your relationship with God.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of times when people find their spirituality, they think somehow they have to be perfect. That overnight they're just going to be without sin. We're all sinners.
That's right.
We all sin. Every day of our life till we leave from here. Because we are not perfect. There is no perfect. There is no perfect. Not the preacher, not the deacons. Nobody in the church is perfect. No. They all mess up. They all go through their trials and tribulations. That's life. And so I think a lot of times, like I'm saying, we get into our spirituality and we get into there's a difference between spirituality and religious behavior.
True.
And in my spirituality, God is my best friend. He's with me all the time. He will never turn me away. I can go through and cry and scream and plead and beg and feel delivered. I can do whatever with him, and he's still going to be there for me. That's my spirituality talking. Religious talk is like, you better do this and you better do that and you better give your 10%. It's all, all of these laws, rules, and regulations. That's not real. To me, that's not reality. I want to be spiritual. I want to have a spiritual relationship with God. I don't want to have this thing where I'm like, oh, I don't want God to be angry with me. Or let me make sure I do this, man. Let me make sure I'm perfect. That's not, God is love. You know what I mean?
Certainly
and
is.
so I just think that you may have the wrong idea about God, which is fine because you're new to it. You're beginning your spiritual journey, and what I hope is that you find a church that speaks these right things to you, the reality of the situation, and not make sure you're not in a church that's like all about the laws, rules, and regulations and real stiff and you're going to hell if you do this and if you do that and all of this. God is love.
He certainly is.
And that's what I always try to remember when anything is happening, stuff I don't understand. Why do bad things happen to good people? Because we're all here on this earth making choices. And sometimes those choices have some terrible effect and a trickle-down effect to people that you can't, somebody deciding to get in their car drunk can destroy a family's life.
Yes, it can.
And that family didn't do nothing, but the drunk person made a choice that affected this entire family. You know what I'm saying? So we just have to look at the bigger picture and understand that you'll never be perfect, and that's not what God wants.
No.
He just wants you to be the best you can be. And knowing that when life happens, you're going to go up and down and up and down. I do it all the time. I be so full of faith for a while. And then something will just knock me out. And I will feel just helpless and just devastated and like, why is this happening to me? You know what I mean? And then something will happen that picks me back up again. And makes me remember my faith.
You got to remember.
And that's the cycle. So you're never going to be perfect. And you don't have to be.
No.
Nowhere does it say that.
It's nowhere.
The Bible is full of stories of people who messed up.
Imperfect people. Everyone
it's just
in
full
there.
of all these stories of people who, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. Well, you got to learn.
Everybody in the book is imperfect except for one.
That's right.
Okay.
The one that's always going to love you. You see,
no matter what.
Precious.
So anytime you think that it's supposed to feel like this thing that's he looking down on you and you messed up and you living in sin and you did all this. God is love.
Matter of fact,
okay.
The truth of the matter is the devil is called the accuser of the brother. Not God. Him. He's the accuser of the brethren. So it's not God doing that. He already gave the gift, grace. So we are all sinners saved by grace.
But your faith will be tested. You will go up and down, and
yes, you will.
And after a while, you'll get stronger at it. Though it won't happen like that. You won't be like, I don't believe. 1 minute and then say you do. You get stronger as you go because you realize, okay, God. You're just working in my life right now, and I'm just going to believe God. That's what Mama always say, believe God.
Believe
you know what
God.
I mean? And so you grow in your faith, just like anything. Even if you just started a job, are you going to be great at the job the first day? No. But a year from now, you'll be much better than you was that day one. This is the same. Yeah. You're starting your spiritual journey, and you're going to be stronger in it as long as it goes.
And the thing about trials and tribulations, you have to have them. They're a testimony. And the Bible also says you overcome by the words of your testimony. So if nothing ever happens to you in life and you have nothing to testify, you can't even be an overcomer. No. You overcome by the blood that he shed for us and the words of your testimony.
My God.
And we all got them. We all got a testimony.
Yeah.
Your testimony may help someone. Mine may help somebody over here. Hers may help this one over here.
That's right.
So that is what we do. Use your trials and your testimony to be a blessing to somebody else that's going through.
My God.
Because that's how we overcome.
God has been good to me. Testimony.
Yes, sir. That's right.
As soon as you said testimony, that's all I heard in my head.
Yes, sir.
We from the Baptist church,
Oh,
if
you
y'all
know
can't
it.
tell.
Hallelujah.
Guilty as charged.
There it is.
So we gonna move on to the next segment. I almost forgot about
that
this.
was some good eating there. I almost felt like I was in church Bible study.
Well, we done went in.
Praise
we done
the
went
Lord.
in.
Amen.
And we came out restored. So
Come
here
on
we
now.
go. Here we go.
Listen.
But now we're gonna get to this next segment that I like to call "What's Going On." What's going on?
What's going on?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Hey!
Yeah.
In this segment, I just want to quickly discuss what just happened. For us, is what just happened, which is that the TikTok ban passed through the House.
Yes, it did.
Today. So we have spoken about this, but now there's been an update. So now, for those of you who don't know how the government works, because I know it's a lot of y'all out there that be just pretending like you know what's going on. Once it passes through the House, it doesn't mean it got a lot of people riled up. A lot of young people were on there like they about to ban TikTok. It also has to pass through the Senate.
Yes, sir.
And then it has to be signed by the president.
That's right.
So just calm down, first of all.
Yeah.
But that's why it's important to know how the democracy works.
Yes,
Right.
it is. And
This is the civics class that you're missing.
Right.
and who you put in there
And
to do this vote.
And this is when all these House of Representatives that you may have voted for or didn't vote
Or
for
not.
because you didn't vote.
Right.
That's when this comes into play. And now it's moving to the Senate.
Yeah.
So did you vote for any senators? Because if you didn't, you ain't got a dog in this race. You see what I'm saying? You see how quickly you're out of the loop? But anyway, it's moving to the Senate, which do we believe it's going to pass through the Senate?
Ooh,
I can say that at first I thought, it's going to pass.
Yeah.
But now I'm not so sure that it's going to pass through the Senate because I think there has been a lot of outrage from a lot of people.
Yeah.
And what politicians do when something like this comes up, especially senators, they do these posters. They get their posters out to see what their constituents are saying about this topic because all they care about is their reelection.
That's right.
As soon as they're elected, they start their reelection. So when things like this come up, this is when they're putting out polls to see what we think.
Right.
Before they make this vote.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
And it's safer in the House, but in the Senate, that's where things really get done, right?
Sure is.
Now, the only problem is Biden has already said that he will sign the bill.
Yeah, he gonna sign it.
So it's wholeheartedly now up to the Senate.
Sure
And
is.
I think it's still 50-50.
Yeah, it's. I wouldn't be surprised if they pass it
I wouldn't
and
be
he
surprised.
signs it, because they have really been talking about this a lot.
But I think there's still a
And,
chance it won't, because I feel like people are
Ooh,
individually weighing their options for their re-election.
Yeah.
And so because we don't know those numbers,
No,
we don't know what
The
the
pollsters
senator in this state or that
Right.
state, what
Well.
people in that region are saying. And because we don't know that, that's an X factor for me.
It is.
Because a lot of times people just assume whether Republicans are all going to vote together and the Democrats are all going to vote together, but there's always people that vote on opposite sides.
Yeah, especially for this.
Because it's such an individual thing. Because this can make or break their election
And
or
their career.
re-election. So
This is
people,
something else.
it's more than just being Republican or Democrat.
Yeah.
Right.
It's about, I want my job in a couple months or another couple years. You know what I'm saying? I don't want this used against me.
Exactly.
What
Well.
should I do for myself? And whenever that's the case, I think it's 50-50. But I would not be shocked if it passed.
Me
Me
neither. I don't know. This is something else.
But it is quite something to think about.
On TikTok.
The number one social media platform being banned in America.
Yeah.
It's so wild to me. It's like it's like banning books. It's the equivalent of banning books,
Which they've done.
Right.
In a lot of places.
We're literally going back in time.
Yes. Yes.
It's for real happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right before our eyes.
Abortion,
Yes.
books,
Affirmative action.
TikTok.
DEI,
Yeah.
freedom of speech, because
Yes.
that's what TikTok is.
Yes.
Sure is.
And it's a form of freedom of speech that has let us know what's going on in the world.
Right.
So that we don't have to listen to the media,
Right.
the propaganda.
That's
Yeah.
it.
We can hear from people on the street, hey, they just bombed us.
Yeah, and I've done that because I've looked at certain news stories. I'm like, I'm missing something. I go to TikTok with my old self and look and say,
a girl is on the street
they outside
where her house used to be.
Yeah.
Well, I said,
In a
see,
pile.
see, y'all lying.
And so
On TV.
it's like social media,
It's something
like I've
else.
said before, there's a evilness to it,
Sure is. It is.
and there's also a goodness.
Yes.
Because that's life. It ain't nothing but life going on. People is just taping their life,
Yeah.
Right.
and talking
Yeah.
into their cameras, into their phones. But it's still life. And so
Yeah, they
I
are.
believe that you got to take the good with the bad.
Absolutely.
And there's a way to moderate.
Yes.
There's a way to balance it. And to protect your children, because you can have controls over their phone.
Right.
Like they don't have to be able to see everything on TikTok. You can really, if you actually pay attention to technology, you can decide what your children see, because
Yeah.
they're children. They need to be, what they see needs to be controlled.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't let my little kids be on no
However,
TikTok.
No.
However, we can no longer trust the media to tell us the truth. We can't trust politicians to tell us the truth. We need access to
the
you know,
truth.
there's not real journalism is just it's out there, but you have to be such a
gone
deep
to me.
reader to find the journalists that are up to par for you to read, because a lot of them are bought and paid for
They
now too.
certainly
And
are.
they used to be the dudes that, got Nixon back in the day.
Walter Cronkite and them.
So because we can't trust the machine,
You cannot.
No.
you have to be able to get access to what's actually happening in real time.
Yeah.
Even when BLM was going on, they were saying so much crazy stuff about the so-called rioters at these marches,
they were.
when really it was like white boys coming up and throwing bricks through stuff, trying to get something bad to happen,
Yes.
and literally trying to make things happen, and black people were just marching in peace.
But they caught them on tape, so
And
we got to see
it exactly
Right.
with the phone, and then without the phone, you
Wouldn't have
would
known.
and then with the phone, we also saw how the police treated the peaceful marches.
Yeah,
how
all
they
that.
was gassing them and beating them
Yeah.
and dragging them and pummeling through crowds with cop cars. We never would have seen. None of this was on the news, by the way.
Nope.
None of it. Everything that we know about that situation was online.
Yep.
And
Yep.
the same
Yeah.
thing for Gaza. We saw that live online.
It was on
And
there.
the same thing for
Israel and
no. Russia and
Ukraine.
and the
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
We saw that. We saw it ourselves from somebody else's phone.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And that to me is the last little bit of power we have over this
it.
machine.
That's
Right.
it.
Because it's taking over.
That's
so
it.
this TikTok ban, while it won't stop anything, everybody will just go to Instagram to post their stuff, and then whatever other app
Right.
comes up next. So it's kind of asinine
It's
to
still
even
gonna
do
be
this
there.
because
Right.
we'll just have another app that does it
Right.
in a matter of seconds.
Yes.
Because literally, junior high school kids can develop an app.
And they sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I looked it up last night. I could develop an app.
It's
You
gonna
know
be
what I mean?
another one.
So, but I think it sets a precedent of what the government is trying to control.
Yes. And the lengths they're willing to go to
And they
do
will
it.
keep
Yeah.
pushing those lengths to where we don't have any social media that's not
That's it.
controlled by the government.
That's
and the
it.
fact that
And
China,
that's just like China.
And
China,
Russia.
but China owns TikTok. That's the U.S. is.
The problem is it's the number one. This is all based on greed, first
Yes.
of all. Because they want them to sell it.
Right. So
And
that's
so this is a negotiation going wrong.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
China told them no.
right.
And because America is crazy and greedy
That's so crazy
and just
to me.
expect to get whatever they want.
Right.
Yes.
Because of
They're America.
the white man privileges
They're
is
not giving you TikTok.
second to none. This is the length that, you ain't gonna sell it, we're gonna ban it.
Right. Because
Exactly.
China don't even let their people use it.
And then here's the thing about Instagram though. The problem is what's allowed on TikTok won't be allowed on
That's
Instagram.
it.
Because it already ain't. They're already shadow banning all these creators pages that talk about Gaza, that talk about Russia, that talk
Wow.
about China, that talk about the TikTok ban. Like there's so many things you can't even mention. Because why? Because it's an American
Right.
owned
And they control it.
business.
There you go.
It is controlled.
There you go.
And they want
So
to control
what is allowed?
this.
That's why when you put on TikTok, you can see the real. When you
Yeah.
put on Instagram,
You really can.
sometimes you can see the real, but it's coded.
Right.
You have to speak differently on Instagram to get your video not to be taken down.
Baby, not on TikTok.
And so on TikTok, it's free. It's way freer.
Sure
Right.
is.
And that's what's gonna be, a heavy load to bear for people. But I feel like, yes, it will be kind of messed up to begin with. Not to mention all the creators that make a living on
Yeah,
TikTok.
it's gonna be
and it'll
rough.
be over for them.
Yeah.
A lot of people literally take care of themselves off being an influencer.
Yep.
That's like a job. And you're
gonna be
taking
gone.
away that
Ooh, that's
that economic, the economics of that is going to be real detrimental
Yeah.
to a lot of people. And I feel very bad about that. But like I said, we just have to just will ourselves through it because there will be another app.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it will. But who gonna own it? The U.S. What?
No, it'll be
Because-
another country. They'll have to keep banning them. There's a lot of countries in this world.
Yeah.
Well, they'll probably ban because they want the control and the money.
But they'll have to go through all of this again and get the votes, and it's not as easy and simple as they think.
Yeah,
they think that nothing is bigger than TikTok, but what they don't realize is before TikTok, it was Instagram. Before Instagram, it was Snapchat. Before Snapchat, it was Facebook. Before Facebook, it was MySpace. Before MySpace, it was
Tagged. I mean,
whatever.
Think about it.
Anything you can think of. So, I mean, this stuff keeps going. And it will always go.
Yeah.
Well,
we're going to find a way to talk and spread messages to each other.
Period.
But yeah, y'all, that's what's
going
on. That's what's going on. What's going on?
What's going on?
TikTok is gone.
TikTok is gone.
Oh, no, y'all. Did y'all see that? We just did that live.
not TikTok.
Yes.
I hope TikTok ain't gone, but it might be gone, y'all. I think we might have prophesied.
Ooh, we was on it.
TikTok is gone. Ooh, that's
We gonna take this on the road, y'all.
Oh my God.
That is so wicked.
All right, now, y'all, we're going to give it up for our next segment, the Black-owned Spotlight, because we spotlight Black-owned businesses here, y'all.
Right,
and I'm going to start us off with a business. It's based here in Chicago. It's called the ILA Creative Studio. It's located in the heart of Bronzeville. And it's a collaborative platform meant to educate, celebrate, and elevate Black artists. Awesome. Founder and Southside native Rachel Gadsden has made it her mission to remind aspiring Chicago artists that they don't have to leave home to gain success and notoriety. With ILA, a younger generation of artists can find educational experiences and programming that feature hard-earned wisdom from Chicago-made and Chicago-paid professionals. It's a great place.
That's awesome.
For all the artists out there from every walk of life, you could go into this place. Check them out on their website to see what events they have, free events. So the website is. No, Siri, I'm not talking to you.
Oh, my God.
You see these doggone phones listening to every word we say?
Yeah. They sicking them on us.
But anyway, check out ILACreativestudio.com.
Nice. All right.
What you got, Ma?
My Black-owned business is called Soul and Smoke. It's a barbecue place. You know about Soul and Smoke? 3056 North Walkway. All right now.
All right.
Y'all check them out.
Check them out now. My Black-owned business is The Main Attraction, and that's MANE, like a main attraction, by Lachey Greenwood. She was an educator for many years. She went natural with her hair in 2014, and she created a hair product line that has rave reviews. People that are suffering from cancer and alopecia and all these different ailments with their hair are seeing awesome results.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And she handcrafts with her and her team. She's not an educator anymore. This allowed her to do this full time, her passion, or one of her passions at least. And I was able to see the transition from the teacher to the CEO online.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was so cool. So check her out. She does great work.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. So now we're going to move on to our recommendations. All right. We're going to start out with a TV show or movie. Lamar, what you get?
All right. So, mine is a throwback.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe someone has mentioned this one before, I think maybe, but I'll mention it again. Living Single.
No, we ain't
We
mentioned
haven't
it,
mentioned that one?
but
No.
we are living
Hey,
single.
Hey.
Ooh, in the 90s kind of world. I'm glad I got my girl.
Yeah.
Keep your head up.
Whoa.
Hey, keep your head up.
That's
hey.
right.
Okay, we can.
We are sick. I'm I'm gonna get us some help. Good God, I forgot I was here.
Listen,
Living single with Queen Latifah, TJ Carson, Kim Coles, Kim Fields. All of them.
That was one of the best shows
That was Friends
ever.
before Friends.
Yeah, they were Friends. They literally stole that show.
Yes, they
and
did.
said, let's do this same show but white.
Right.
That's so
and then paid them more and treated them better.
$1 million an episode.
So did. But Living Single, baby.
But it's our classic.
Yes,
we love it, and we love all of them. No doubt about it.
Forever.
Any episode you watch,
Forever.
I'm sitting right there
Pure
watching
gold.
it. Pure gold.
Pure gold.
It is.
Beautiful show.
You can't go wrong with Living Single.
Yeah, that's the jam. Mama, what you got?
My movie is One Love, Bob Marley. It's on Prime now. It's on Paramount Plus.
Oh, okay.
Oh, bless his sweet soul. Oh, the music, y'all.
Okay.
All right. One love.
Was that your Jamaican accent? You need to stop.
All right.
I apologize for everything that just occurred, okay? Because if that was your...
All right.
We're going to stop right now.
I'm sorry.
We're stopping right now. Respect.
I love Bob Marley. He wouldn't have mind. Oh, Bob, bless your heart.
Mama, no, you did all right.
Respect, y'all.
Hey,
We don't mean it. We don't mean no disrespect.
I love him, baby.
Moving on. It's probably a wonderful film. Check it out if you ain't seen it. I haven't seen it yet.
I'm sorry.
Let's move on.
Go ahead, Melly. What you got?
Oh, my God. Woo.
Ooh, yeah. I thought I hit that.
Come on. Let's do this. My show is called Fire Country, and it's on Paramount. I started watching it maybe like a month ago, and I have been hooked. It's on Paramount Plus, and it's about this group of firefighters. And they live out like where there's like real big fires, like in the woods, like where it just catches fire out of nowhere, and it'll take out it'll take out a whole town if you don't stop it. Yeah. And so this group of firefighters, and it's really great. Like all the characters are really good and detailed, and then they have this fire camp where it's a group of men that have done well in prison, and they're sent to this camp to help the firefighters because they need so much help because of all these fires.
Yeah.
They get help from these prisoners, and the prisoners like work off their time. By helping out with these fires. Yeah. So they turn them into firefighters. And it's amazing. It's like a really amazing show. The characters are so good. And you're so invested in everybody. And then every week is some crazy fire breaking out. And you just scared to death that somebody ain't going to make it out. And sometimes people don't at all. But they don't do it every episode like some shows where somebody die all the time. Yeah. It's like every now and then somebody got it. Because eventually somebody does. You can't pretend like it's just not a violent and scary job. But it's a great show. Fire Country, check it out.
Fire Country.
Oh yeah, you will get hooked. I am hooked.
Oh, I might look at that.
I'm hooked.
And speaking of that, there was a recommendation that Melly had a couple of episodes ago. Might have been last episode about the 30 for 30. O.J. Simpson documentary. So I highly suggest, because I took the time and watched it from cover to cover.
Yeah.
So I second that emotion, and
that's awesome.
It was deep. All right, let's do books.
All right.
Okay.
I will start us off. Okay. My book for this week is called Black Fortunes by Shamari Willis. I hope I'm saying that right. But it's called Black Fortunes, and it was a book that I read, and I didn't know that this had ever happened. So it just kind of blew my mind. But it's a book about 6 black people that were born into slavery and Jim Crow. And post-slavery, post-Civil War, they were the first black millionaires.
Wow.
And it's a story of each of them.
Oh, my.
And the author's great-great-great-grandfather, Napoleon Bonaparte Drew, was one of these millionaires.
Oh, my.
So the author is literally writing about her great-great-great-grandfather and
awesome.
5 other people. And one of the 5 is Madam C.J. Walker.
C.J.
So
Walker.
these 6 were the first black millionaires post-Civil War. And then, of course, they did what they did to take everything back and try to ruin all these people. But they beat all the odds.
Wow.
And because of their genius, they found a way to cultivate. I mean, like, her great-great-great-grandfather was the first black person to own land in Richmond post-Civil War.
Oh, my God. Virginia?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's how rich he was.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? So it's just an incredible story of overcoming all the odds. Because that time period says it all. For what they accomplished, it's unbelievable. That's why we have no excuse on why we can unite and do some things. But it's the problem is the millionaires we have today don't care about nobody but themselves.
Right.
Let's just be all the way 100. They got the millions. We got millionaires now. Every doggone well. But they're so focused on being like them.
Yep.
Instead of bringing it back to the community and trying to build us up, that the cycle just continues right on back to them.
Oh, that's
And so we're trapped in this vicious cycle. But this book really opens up the aspirational side.
That's powerful.
That's awesome.
The entrepreneurial side of yourself. You really believe, okay, if they could do this, I know I
have
can
no
do it.
excuse.
I know I can make a way for myself. So it's a powerful book. Please read Black Fortunes.
Wow, nice.
Go ahead, Ma.
My book is called Between Each Line of Pain and Glory. Neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye.
If this ain't
It's
about
Gladys
Gladys Knight, okay, I'm about to say. If this ain't about Gladys Knight,
Of course.
I didn't know what the title meant. So I'm like,
Between Each Line of Pain, that's in the song. That's
I
one of
did
the
not know that, Mama.
Oh, my bad.
So it was just like a title of a book, and then you went
Between
into
each
Gladys
line of-
Knight, and I was
Pain
like,
and Glory.
Puzzled.
"Is this?"
It's Gladys Knight.
I'm glad. I'm glad. Because otherwise, I would have thought you were nuts.
I done sat here and
She
lost
said
my
she
mind.
just tacking on songs to
Yeah.
books.
They have no relevance whatsoever. Oh my God.
It's the Gladys Knight. It's her book.
It's her book, her story.
Okay.
It's so good. Oh, Gladys, bless your heart. Such a good.
really?
There's a lot of stuff happened to Gladys.
Yeah, she been through a lot.
Yes.
She been through a lot.
Oh, Gladys.
She's still here though.
Well, Gladys, your facelift
I
looks
love
amazing.
her. I love
I
her.
saw her
Yeah,
lift.
her lift look nice.
Her what?
Facelift.
She didn't get lifted.
What?
I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
She look good.
I mean, it do look
Gladys
good now.
Knight is looking 35.
She
now.
do.
I'm just saying.
Oh my God. I'm done.
Okay,
I'm done.
I'm gonna lay off. I'm gonna lay off for tonight.
She do though.
But look at her.
I mean, yeah.
I was just about to say she's aging so well. Then y'all gonna say she done had a facelift.
Yeah.
I ain't seen her.
She
Well,
look
baby,
good. It's really
We are
nice.
No, because this sound like y'all condoning facelifts.
Well,
don't be getting no dog on facelifts,
get
y'all.
what you get,
but just age.
Make sure it look
baby. Gladys 35, so whatever.
All right, I'm not happy about that at all. And y'all just think it's hilarious.
That's baby.
What's your book?
My book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
All right.
And it is a book about how this guy, he has his poor dad who's like an ordinary Joe, and then he finds like a mentor in it, and he teaches him how to make money unconventionally and to think outside of the box. Whereas his poor dad, quote unquote,
right,
does the conventional stuff. And, it's all about, it teaches you about your mindset and how to apply and take risks and go for what you know. Okay. It's a great book.
Okay.
Wow.
Check it out, y'all.
All right. Now, let's move on to music. What you got, Mama?
I've got the Commodores. It's easy like Sunday morning. Oh, what a great album.
All right.
I think Brick House and all that is on that album.
That was by the Commodores?
Yes, sir.
She's a brick.
House. That's it was.
Because the horn section. The horn section, you don't remember that?
Letting it all
Wait a minute.
out. Yes, that's the Commodores and Lionel Richie.
Shake a bounce, shake a bounce,
He
shake
was
a
the one
bounce,
that was
bounce.
shake a bouncing?
Shake a bone bone.
Shake a bounce, bounce.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a big
Bone,
band.
bone.
The Commodores. That's how I found that out.
Yes, the Commodores.
Because they used to play like all them old videos on them commercials. You remember them commercials where they try to sell you like them big DVDs of like of Soul Train and all that stuff. Like I saw
they used to all be
that's
on
how
there.
I saw all these old bands live. And I'm like, man, these bands was the boss.
Yes, they were the Commodores.
I didn't know the Commodores made Brick House.
Yes, they did.
They did.
Wow.
Yes,
Learn
honey.
something new every day.
Wow, you didn't know that. Yes. Oh, yeah. But that's my group.
All
Commodore.
right. Lamar, what you got?
My song is Happy Together by the Turtles.
Okay.
Oh,
Y'all know that song?
I don't.
I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life.
Wow. Boy, I thought the Turtles was some new rap group. I was like, I am totally out the loop.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, that's old.
Who are the Turtles?
That's so old.
I'm sitting there trying to...
That's
song.
old.
What Turtles?
The Turtles. I was like, I didn't know that was... Yeah. I know the
I've
song.
heard it in a movie, but I never heard it like, the Turtles.
All right. It's a happy little song.
It is.
Remind me of the Beach Boys.
Yeah, or the
That's-
Beatles.
yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Definitely the Beach Boys. Wow.
All
Okay.
right. Okay, yeah. Mine is a song. Okay. And it's Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
If it's magic, then why can't it be everlasting?
Yes.
Like the sun that always shines. Woo!
Yes, and Jane.
If it's magic, Stevie Wonder.
It's magic.
It's so beautiful, and it's a
It
harp.
is.
It's a harp player.
Yes.
Playing on the
God.
song.
Yes.
And it's just one of the most beautiful songs, and it's so simple
It is.
and beautiful. And I just had it on repeat the other day, and it just made me feel better.
It's magic.
It is magic. It's a
Yes,
magical
it is.
tune.
Yes, it is.
Check it out if you never heard it.
It's so
not one of his big hits or
Right,
whatever, but
I know it.
I mean, any Stevie Wonder fan knows it immediately. As soon as you say,
Yes.
if it's magic.
If it's magic. Bless his sweet soul.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
So, yeah, That's my song for the week.
All right.
And those are our recommendations for the week. And if you enjoyed this episode, you know what you got to do for us. Give us a thumbs up.
Come on.
Subscribe to the page. Hit the little notification bell so you never miss an episode. We have new episodes every Wednesday of the Ask Mama podcast. If you want to ask Mama a question next week, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Ask Mama Podcast and DM us your questions. Also, you can ask questions and comment down below with your questions, or just comment down below and say, hey, because that helps the video too. Say, hey, good job. We enjoyed it. Whatever you want to say to us, be sure to comment. We're also on Spotify, so you can listen to the podcast as well. And follow us on Spotify to never miss an episode. And we'll be back next Wednesday, y'all, for another episode of Ask Mama. Peace.
Peace.